So 5.2 is the properties of parabolas. We all know that parabolas are the graph of a quadratic equation. Okay? So let's write that down so we don't forget. It's y equals, what comes first?
A.
Yep, and then,
X.
yep, and remember, if it's a quadratic, it's going to be to the power of 2. If the variable is not squared, it's not a quadratic. Okay? And A, B, and C, they can be positive or negative, it doesn't really matter. Okay? Now, A can be negative, yep, and we're going to talk about what it looks like when A is negative. Have you done any parabolas before?
Yeah, we did it.
Maybe just a little?
No, we did it last year a little bit, I think, and I think we did it at the beginning of this year.
Okay, all right, maybe a little bit. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at a parabola, but we're only going to look at not if it has a middle part to it. So we're only going to look at this part. Okay, we're only going to look at graphs like that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is that I would like you to graph this equation. Okay? 2x squared minus 4. All right, well, what I would do is I would definitely put it on my calculator. And we're going to do that right here in y equals. Now, once again, other people have been using this calculator. So what I would like you to do, okay, when we do this, is I would like for you to make sure that when you graph something, it's just your regular standard window, and that when you're in y equal, none of your plots are dark, okay? And then just go ahead and type it in. The x is right there. The easiest squared button to get to is kind of kitty corner from the 7 there. Minus 4. And then you go ahead and you graph it. Now, that's a U shape. That's a parabola. It looks pretty good. And, okay, you're right. Sorry. Okay. All right. Now, this particular graph, I might ask you, what is the vertex? Okay? What is the vertex, you guys? The vertex? That's right. It is 0, negative 4. Now, in this case, is my vertex a minimum or a maximum? It is definitely a minimum. Okay? And the other thing that you want to be able to know how to do is, bless you, what is the y-intercept? Yep, in this particular case, it is negative 4. Because that's when x is 0. So that is when x equals 0. And we could actually put it in the equation. But we can also just look at the graph. Okay? All right, so there we go. Now, this particular graph right here. Let's go back, and I would like you to, on your graph, if you could delete the 2, so it's just x minus 4. Okay? Now, could you type in x squared, just x squared? And graph the 2 of them. Okay, there's the first one. That's x squared minus 4, and that's x squared. Jason? Just do zoom standard, zoom 6, and that'll get you You get that? Okay, because they must have gotten deleted from your little tick marks. Format. Grid.
This is insane. Insane in the membrane.
Song insane in the membrane.
I just want x squared by itself. Yep, no minus. Okay, so now, you guys, what do you think happens if I type in the third one, if I type in x squared, and then I say plus 3? What do you think happens to the... You think it'll go up 3?
Yeah.
And it certainly does. So, what does the C do? Yeah, this C moves the graph. Yes.
Now realizing this, if we put something we already kind of learned.
Yes.
Because I kind of like, when we were doing the graphing,
Yep.
I kind of like learned how to do this.
Yes, exactly. And so this should be a review. What do you think the A does to the parabola?
Makes it wider and narrower.
That's right. A will make it wider
Makes it more vertical.
or narrower.
Yeah, Gil, you big fan of curves?
Okay? All right.
It's all about the good.
Now, here's some rules that we want to talk about because we're not always going to get it to look exactly like this. Most often, you're going to get a quadratic that looks like this. There's going to be a number in front of x squared, there will be a number in front of x, and then the c. When it looks like this c is not how much it shifts up and down, and it plays a totally different role.
Great.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you some properties so that we understand it. Now, if A is greater than 0, now, if A is bigger than 0, does that mean it's positive or negative? Definitely positive. Okay, so if A is positive, you guys, then the parabola, that's right, opens up. If A is less than 0 or negative, your parabola opens down. And it flips upside down. So if you want to, you can experiment on your calculator by putting a negative in front of your x squared, and then you can kind of move them up or down, and you can actually get a lot of different shapes and designs with parabolas. Okay? If you have this equation in general, your axis of symmetry meaning the line that divides it exactly in half, is the equation x equals negative b over 2a. Okay? That's what it is. So we would look at b, we'd take the opposite of it, and we would divide it by 2 times a, and that would be my axis of symmetry.
Or we're going to split it in half, right? Like I'm looking at it.
Well, but you have to double the a. So you can't just split the b in half. You have to double the a, then split the b in
No,
half.
I mean like when I'm looking actually at the graph of the parabola.
Yes. But if I just give you this and ask you to sketch it without a calculator, then that's when you would use it. Okay? The vertex, you guys, the x coordinate is negative b over 2a also. Okay? And the y coordinate is going to be when you put the x value into the equation. So you have to do a little bit of math. And I'm going to do an example and we'll go through all of this, okay? Now, it's kind of nice because the y-intercept, you guys, is always 0c. So that c on the end right there, that's always where your graph crosses the y-axis, whatever that number is. Okay, and if you can remember those 4 bullet points, you're doing pretty good when it comes to parabolas.
All I'm gonna take out of the high school.
Okay. All right, everybody have that? Yep, go ahead. Kalana? What?
X equals negative something?
It's a negative b. Yep, over 2 times a. Okay?
Y-intercept 0 and c.
Yes, yes. So whenever you have a quadratic function, whatever the number is all by itself, not next to an x, that's always where it crosses the y-axis. Yep. The 0 is the x, yeah, because it's always 0. The b helps us to find the vertex there. That b in the middle, okay? Then it's 0, okay? Then it cuts through the origin there at 0, 0. Okay? Yep. All right. Okay, good questions. Okay, you guys, let's do an example now, okay? Okay. Okay, now without a calculator, you guys, I would like you to graph all right, now, as you take a look at this graph right here, or this equation, sorry, I should have put graph y equals. As you take a look at this, what is the first thing you notice about what's in front of x squared? So when we sketch this graph, is it right side up or upside down?
Upside down.
Yeah. Okay, now, when you graph a parabola, what might be the first thing that you want to graph? The vertex. All right, so let's find I'm just going to draw this. Let's find the vertex. Okay, the x part equals negative b over twice a. Okay, and Nick, what does b equal in this case?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's 4. No, just the 4. Yep. And you know what? Sometimes what we do off to the side is we might want to write down a equals negative 1, b equals 4, and Alex, what does c equal?
I don't know.
Look at the equation up here.
Yeah.
2. There you go. Okay? Now, x equals negative b, so what's negative? Yep. So negative 4 over 2 times negative 1.
Oh. So negative 2.
Negative 4 over negative 2, so it's just 2.
Oh,
2 negatives cancel.
Alright.
Okay? Now, to find the y, you guys, you have to put the 2 back into the equation up there. So it is negative 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 2. Now please be careful. In this case, the negative does not go in the parentheses, okay? Because that's not what x is. The negative stays on the outside. So this actually equals negative 4 plus 8 plus 2, which equals negative 4 plus 10, which equals 6. Everybody following, and we're at least we're okay with, what we're doing? Okay. So now that I have this information, Zach, what is my vertex?
6. 0, 6.
What's my x value? What did I find x to equal?
2.
And my y value, I just found it?
6.
There you go. So you need to go to your graph. Okay? And make a dot there at 2, 6. That is my vertex. Okay. What else do I need to know in order to sketch this graph? What was the other thing that we want to find? The y what? What is my y-intercept? It is 0, 2, because that's what C is. So I'm going to go to my graph, 0, 2, and make a dot. Now, last section, okay, my next question is, what's my axis of symmetry?
It's x equals
Yeah,
2.
yeah. So you can make, what sometimes I do, is I make a dotted line going down. Okay, now to make sure that I make this correct, if I know this point, and this point is 2 on the left, straight across, how many over is it here?
2.
2. So I could go to 4, and I could make a dot there. Now I can sketch a pretty darn good parabola. Okay? Pretty darn nice. Did everybody see what I did? Okay, I found the y-intercept.
Yeah, my parabola's a little crooked.
It's okay if your parabola's crooked. No big deal. Okay? Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay, we're going to do one more example, and then we're finished. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're trying to find the minimum value. If it's a minimum value, is your parabola going to be right side up or upside down?
Right side up.
Right side up. So that's hopefully what they give us, otherwise we won't be able to figure it out. Now, this is the one thing I want to make sure that you understand. When they're asking for a value right here, they want the y value, not the x value. They want the y value, okay? The way that and I'll show you how we're going to write it when we're finished. So my equation is this: 3x squared plus 12x plus 8. Okay. Now, if it's a minimum value, where is it located? It's located at the what? The lowest point. And what's that lowest point called? That dot down there. Starts with a V?
Vertex.
It's the vertex. How do we find the vertex?
You plug in
How do we find that?
negative 12 over
This way? This way. There you go. Okay, how do I find the vertex?
negative 12 over 2 times.
Okay, so first we're going to find the x part of the vertex by using my formula, negative b over 2a. That's the first thing. So I do that by saying, okay, negative, okay, and again, if you need to, write off to the side what a, b, and c equal. So then when you plug them in, you know exactly what you're using. Okay? B is 12, so my x point is negative 12 over 2 times 3. So negative 12 over 6. Okay. So all I know, but again, if I want to know the minimum value, I'm looking for the x or the y. The y. So what can I do with the negative 2? Plug it into my equation. You guys are so smart. Yep. Now this time, the negative 2 actually goes in the parentheses so that it doesn't end up negative, okay, because that's its value. Okay? All right. Now, what is negative 2 times negative 2? 4. Good. Okay? 4 times 3? 12. What kind of 24 though? Probably a negative 24 here. Plus 8. Is it negative 4? Because this would be, yep, that would be 20 plus negative 24, so it equals negative 4. Now, this is kind of important because I really stress this, especially after you guys leave Algebra 2 and get to pre-calc. The way it's written is you say, all right, my minimum value is negative 4 at x equals negative 2. Okay? So the minimum value is the y value, but you tell me where it's at. And in this case, it's at x equals negative 2. Okay? They're going to give you some application problems where they might tell you that this is the profit of something, and they're going to ask you what the maximum profit is. So again, you find the vertex. Or you find the minimum number of people that attended something, and they've got a quadratic formula, so you can find that. Okay? These are different examples. Now, your homework, you guys. Oh, yes. Well, you keep thinking we're going to have a snow day, so I figure I'll give you lots to do. I'm joking.
We're looking for apples. Yes, really? It's still recording. Whoa. Really?
5.2, yeah. I'm almost finished, guys. Okay? Now, again, it looks like a lot, but these will go quickly because you just simply need to put them in. Yes. And then the last one is, well, some of them, yes, are multiple choice, if that helps. No, typically I don't give true and false.
Those would be the easiest, if you have.
Okay, when I do 37 to 39 like that, that's usually multiple choice.
Never tell me what is this?
Okay? So there you go.
Yeah,